Journal entries, Chapter 3, from a survivor named Jukebox.
It's hard to do this alone. Anxiously, I peered through my binoculars in the fields bordering Starry Sabor. It was quiet, only a few stray dead roaming the edge of town. They had yet to take notice of my presence. A tip came through the PDA not long ago. There was a supply drop en route. When unoccupied, my mind always seemed to drift back towards that night in Tizzy. I should have grabbed them notes. There was so much left there to decipher. Whoever took that car was clearly trying to hide something, and now I have more questions than answers. It would seem somebody doesn't want people digging into this mess, but why? What could they gain from it? What was that creature? Where did they... My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of jet engines far in the sky. There it was, right on schedule. I watched as the crate dropped out of the back of the cargo jet, the parachute deployed, a thick red smoke trailing behind it. I still wonder who is sending these out here. That plane certainly can't be easy to maintain. And who out there still gives a damn about this place? My intel said the supplies were set to land out in a field somewhere, but today luck was not on my side. The wind was directing the crate right towards the center of town. Great, I grumbled. There was no way my current vantage point was going to work. I pressed the last round into my magazine, loaded it, and began moving towards Main Street. There had to be 40 or 50 of them. As I rounded the corner past the hospital, my heart sank. The dead were already swarming the crate. It hit the ground pretty hard and shattered a car windshield on the way down, effectively bringing every rotter in town right to where the supplies were. I considered calling it a loss. Definitely couldn't stay behind this dumpster for long. With the wind so high today, the dead were sure to catch my scent soon. Slowly, I looked through my scope, through the swarm of smoke and undead, and tried to get a visual on the box. Shit. Every Zed in town has to be here. It was a medical supply. Exactly what I needed. No way I could walk away now. The gear inside would help take me to my next lead. Anna's NBC outfit kept me by for some time, but the duct tape wasn't holding up anymore. I've started to feel ill lately. Massive headaches, and a persistent cough. I suspect the suit is not protecting me during my investigations. Perhaps, if I had been a bit less reckless, it wouldn't have become breached. That crate was bound to have antidotes, filters, and supplies. I took a firing position at the end of the main street, held my breath, and began working. At first, it was going surprisingly smoothly. Shot after shot hit their mark. While vicious, the dead weren't exactly smart. As one fell, the others would run towards the sound of the dropping body, allowing me to land quick follow-up shots. My position down the road, combined with the suppressor, made it difficult for the horde to pinpoint my location. At least 20 were taken down before everything went black. I regained consciousness, tasting blood. Ears ringing, my eyes open to see a bullet snap and hit the brick wall to my right. An unseen weight dropped down, knocking the wind out of me. What the hell was going on?
Look out, bro, there are priests!
An unfamiliar voice called out from my left. Groaning, I heaved the lifeless corpse off of me. It took a moment before the source of the voice became apparent. It was another survivor, clad in ghillie. He turned down towards the crate. The commotion had drawn the attention of the remaining pack of dead. The horde, now completely uninterested in the supply drop, began to advance. I managed to take a knee and shoulder my rifle, and together we sent the remaining undead to rest. I could barely see with blood running down my head. Probably hadn't noticed it at first because of all the adrenaline. A priest sucker punched me, the bastard. As I began applying some gauze to my forehead, the stranger comes up to introduce himself. He went by the name of Dusty. I thanked him greatly for saving my life. We both took note that even in the heat of the situation, we worked well together. He was also running alone. Currently, his allies were away looking for medical supplies in a different land and had yet to return. We decided to stick together. Dusty and his friends would teach me many skills to survive in this new world in the coming months. I hate water. If I'm going to swim, it's going to be a river or a damn pool. So, being that we were surrounded by ice-cold ocean, that's a hard no for me. Still, it was my idea to chase the airdrop out to Staliski Island. Dusty questioned if it was worth it going all the way out there, and so did I. There's too high of a chance we need what is in that crate. We were just about ready to get into the water after leaving our heaviest and most sensitive gear in the car. We really need to fix the boat. I could hear the plane overhead, and a familiar boost of adrenaline fills my blood. But before we could begin the journey, Dusty howled out in pain. The lone wolf had snuck up on us, and as we watched the plane, bit a sizable chunk off of his hindquarters. It looked cold, wet, and hungry, almost like it had been fishing. I couldn't help but laugh as he decimated it with his weapon. "Jeez, did you kill it?" I chuckled as we got into the water, still laughing. Again, fuck swimming. Even with fair weather, the water was freezing and choppy. I just focused on paddling, trying to get air between waves crashing over my head. Eventually we arrived, but there were visitors waiting for us. An entire pack of even hungrier wolves lined the shore. We were stranded. There was no way we could stay in the water, hoping they would leave, and we did not have the energy to make them swim back without resting. We had to come up with a plan, or we would die on this island. For whatever reason, the wolves were focused on me, which I thought was a bit unfair. I remember yelling at them it was him who killed their friend, trying to make light of this crappy situation I had gotten us into. Our plan was for me to lure the wolves down the coast so Dusty could get ashore and eliminate them. It seemed foolproof, so we began to split up. As we got farther apart, the water was beginning to get shallow enough for the wolves to begin closing the distance. They yipped and howled, licking their chops as they eyed what was washing towards them. Being on this island, you'd imagine they don't often get the opportunity for fresh food. I had to commit then and there, where the pack's next meal was me. I pushed towards the shore and raised my AK. While I'd like to say my shots were true, I was cold and tired, and much of the meat was ruined by the time it was over. Dusty caught up a couple moments later. He was surprised I took the risk and went ashore. He noted I could have died right there, and to try and be safe. Either way, we ate pretty good for the next few days. Also, I need new boots. These ones have smelled ever since.